All right, welcome. Have you ever been riding with a cycling group in Indonesia and felt like you're listening to a completely different language? Well, today we're going to crack the code. We're diving into the unique slang of the Indonesian cycling community, so on your next ride you'll sound like a seasoned pro.
So picture this, you're out on a ride and you hear someone yell about going for the KOM. Or maybe a massive group of riders flies by and someone calls it a peloton. And have you ever heard a friend, totally out of breath, admit they had to TTB up a hill? If you've been nodding your head, feeling a little lost, hey, don't worry.
Trust me, you are so not alone. Every subculture has its own lingo, its own inside jokes, and today we're going to break down this secret language together. We're going to turn you from a curious outsider into a confident insider. Let's do this. Okay, so let's kick things off with the absolute most important word you got to know. Goes. This is pretty much the word for cycling in Indonesia. It's just fun to say, and it's got an even cooler origin story. It comes from the Javanese phrase Genjo Wes, which is basically a super encouraging way of saying, come on, let's pedal. All right, so before we actually hit the road, you got to know the lingo for the machine itself, right? So let's do a quick and dirty breakdown of 3 key parts of the bike that everybody talks about. First up, the frame. I want you to think of this as the heart and soul of your bike. It's the skeleton. Literally, everything else attaches to it. And the material it's made from, whether that's old school steel, lightweight aluminum, or super fancy carbon fiber, that's what's going to totally change how the bike feels under you. Next, you've got the group set. Now, if the frame is the skeleton, think of the group set as the bike's entire engine and transmission rolled into one. It's the whole system, your shifters, your gears, your chain, the stuff that actually takes the power from your legs and puts it onto the road. It's the brains and the muscle. And rounding out our big 3, we've got the wheel set. Your wheels are so critical. Seriously, just changing your tires can completely transform your ride. The right choice can make your bike a speed demon on the pavement or a total beast on a gnarly trail. Okay, so bike check is done. Now that we know the basic parts, let's get rolling. The conversation on the road, it's going to shift to how you're riding. And specifically, it's all about the rhythm of your pedaling. This leads us to a really key concept, cadence. All it is a way to measure how fast you're spinning your pedals. We count it in rotations per minute, or RPM. It's a super simple number that says a lot about your style. You know, for most of us, weekend riders, that's maybe around 60 RPM. But the pros? Oh man, they're spinning like crazy, easily over 100. And that cadence number really defines what kind of rider you are. Are you a spinner or a masher? Spinners, they like to use an easier gear and just spin their legs really fast. It's all about heart and lungs. Mashers, on the other hand, they're all about pure, raw power. They use a hard gear and just mash those pedals down with brute force. All right, this is where things start to get really interesting. This is where your individual effort starts to mix with group dynamics. We're riding with other people now, and the road suddenly becomes a place of strategy, challenges, and even a little bit of competition. Oh, you've totally seen this. A massive swarm of cyclists all moving together like one single organism, super tightly packed. That, my friends, is a peloton. The name actually comes from the French word for a military platoon, which makes perfect sense when you see how organized they are. So you might be wondering, why are they riding so close to each other? Well, it's all about physics. It's pure strategy. It's called drafting or slipstreaming. By tucking in behind another rider, you let them do all the hard work of breaking the wind, and you can save a whopping 5 to 10% of your energy. It's how the group can go so much faster together. Now, inside that peloton, or even if you're just riding with your buddies, you're going to hear talk about the KOM, or the QOM. That stands for King of the Mountain, or Queen of the Mountain. It's the title you get for being the fastest person up a specific, usually very painful, segment of the road. Seriously, it is the ultimate bragging right on the road. Having that calm as a goal is awesome. But let's be real for a second. What happens when you're staring up at a monster of a hill, your lungs are on fire, and your legs are just screaming at you to stop? What then? And listen, there is zero, and I mean zero, shame in this next one. The cycling community has a term for this moment, and it's used with respect. It's called TTB, which stands for Tune Bike. It just means you've hit your limit and you're getting off to walk your bike up the rest of the way. So let's break down the official TTB process. Step 1, you face a ridiculously steep climb. Step 2, you make the smart call, swallow your pride, and hop off the bike. And step 3, you patiently push your bike to the top. It's not about quitting, it's about being smart and saving yourself to ride another day. And get this isn't some newfangled idea. There's an old Sudanese term for this, matador, which basically translates to find a hill, push it. The wisdom is timeless. It is so much better to push your bike than to push your body to its breaking point.
Phew! Okay, the hard part is over. That epic climb is behind you. And now it's time for what is, let's be honest, the absolute best part of any weekend ride. The reward.
And that brings us to my absolutely favorite term, Gokapan. It's a mashup of Goez Cherry Sarapan, which means cycle to find breakfast. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's this amazing weekend tradition where the whole point of the ride is to end up at a fantastic place to eat. It's the perfect blend of hard work and delicious reward.
So there you have it. You are officially